Hello 8th graders. Today we're going to reverse our grammar lesson, and it's when do we use quantifiers. Well, quantifiers that tell us the amount or the quantity of something. And so we use quantifiers to know the exact amount or quantity of something. And that's why we use quantifiers before nouns. So let's check the quantifiers out. In this table you can see that we have countable and uncountable nouns, and some quantifiers we use them for both. Well, as you know, that countable nouns, they are things that you can count, like one friend, two friends, and so on. While uncountable nouns, they are things that you can't count, like butter, water, and that sort of thing. Let's take the first group, which is countable nouns. We have many and few. Actually, many expresses a large quantity of something. So we use many to express large quantity with countable nouns. And if we want to express a small amount of quantity, we use few. So we use a few to express a small amount of quantity. The next group, which is the uncountable nouns, we use much to express large quantity and a little to express a small quantity. While some and any and a lot of, we use them with countable and uncountable nouns, but we use them differently. We use some when we don't know the exact amount of something, so the amount is unspecified. So it's unspecified amount. And also we use any when we don't know the exact amount, so it's also unspecified. While we use a lot of also to express a large quantity of something. And now I'm going to give you example sentences and explain when to use them in the sentences. Let's start with the quantifiers that express a large quantity: much and money. At the first example, how much milk do you need? We have used much before the uncountable noun milk, and we have used it in the interrogative or in questions. The second sentence, I don't have much time left. We have used much before the uncountable noun time, and we have used it with the negative form. The third sentence, does it need much electricity? We've used much before the uncountable noun electricity, and we have also used it in the interrogative or in question. And as you can see, we use much with uncountable nouns, in negative sentences, and questions. Let's check out many. The first example. How many flowers do you need? We've used many before the plural, countable noun, flowers, and it's an interrogative, a question. There aren't many oranges left. I've used many before the plural, countable noun, oranges, and in negative sentence. There aren't many chairs in the room. Also, chairs is a plural, countable noun, and aren't is a negative form. So we also use many in countable, plural, nouns, in negative sentences, and questions. And so we use much and many to express. Now let's look at the quantifiers that express a small amount, a few, and a little. Look at the first example. She got a few close friends. Here we have used a few before the plural countable noun friends. Actually, this means that she has friends. She has enough friends, not many, but they are enough. Second example, there are a few apples for dinner. We also used a few before the plural noun apples, and as you can see, the verb is in the plural form. There are a few peas. We've also used a few before the plural noun peas, and also the verb is in the plural form. So we use a few in plural countable nouns, and as you can see, the examples are in the affirmative form. So we use it in the affirmative or in the positive form. A little. They had a little money left. We've used a little before the uncountable noun money. There is a little pasta. We've also used a little before the uncountable noun pasta. There is a little soup. Also, soup is an uncountable noun, and as you can see, we use a little with uncountable nouns also. It's in the affirmative for sentences or in the positive sentences. And so we use a few with plural countable nouns in the affirmative sentences, and we use a little with the uncountable nouns in the affirmative sentences to express a small quantity of something. In class, you've heard me saying, or you've heard me asking you, Do you have any question? And I will write some exercises. So when do you use some or any? Let's check out the sentences. I need to buy some bread. Here we've used some before the uncountable noun bread. Please treat us with some respect. We also used some before the uncountable noun respect. Can you buy some apples on your way home? In this sentence, we've used some before the plural countable noun apples. In these sentences, I'm not saying how much do I need or the amount. So we use some when we don't want to say how much of that thing that we need. And if you can notice that the first and the second examples are in the affirmative. The third example is an interrogative or a question. So we use some with countable and uncountable nouns in the affirmative and questions. Let's look at any. Did you get that cat any food from the shop? And here we've used any before the uncountable noun food in the interrogative. She doesn't have any money. We've used any before the uncountable noun money, and if you can see, the sentence is in the negative form. Did you buy any new films? In this sentence, we've used any before the plural countable noun films, and it's also in the interrogative. So we use any with countables, with countable, or uncountable noun with countable or uncountable, in negative and questions. Well, some students mixed up between whether they can use some and any, or when do we use them. As you can see from this example, can you buy some apples on your way home? Well, this is a request. So we use some when we request something, and we often accept that the answer is yes. Look at the difference between this example and this example. Did you buy any new films? This is not a request. In this case, we're wondering. I don't know the answer, but I'm wondering if you have bought any new films. At the beginning, we've used much with uncountable nouns to express a large quantity in the negative sentences and questions, and we've used many with countable nouns to express a large quantity also in negative and questions. So what do we use with the affirmative? Well, here we use a lot of to express large quantity. Look at these examples. They have had a lot of fun. Here we've used a lot of before the uncountable noun fun. There are a lot of carrots on the table. Here we've used a lot of before the plural countable noun carrots. So we use a lot of with plural countable nouns and uncountable nouns in the affirmative sentences. But can we use a lot of in negatives? Well, we can use a lot of instead of many or much. Let's repeat our first examples and let's try them with a lot of. So I don't have a lot of time left. I don't have a lot of time left. At the beginning, I've written this sentence using much. So we can use much or a lot of. Let's take another example. There aren't a lot of oranges left. At first, I've written this example using many. So we can use many or a lot of. Do you need a lot of time to study? Do you need a lot of time to study? I can also use much instead of a lot of. So we also use many. So we also use a lot of in the affirmative, negative, and questions. Well, 8th graders, this is the end of our lesson, and I'll send you your homework. Thank you very much for listening. Goodbye.